Hey everybody. So this is where I had my healing fire for Alexander last night. If you didn't see that video, had a little bit of ginger tea brewing. Kind of funny, his mom told me this morning he loves ginger tea, and he always asks for that when he's not feeling too good. I didn't know that, but I love those little synchronicities. So today I was going to talk about COVID amnesty. I have to think about that one real hard. No. When we forgive somebody about things, or give them that amnesty from whatever infraction we feel they committed on us, it's usually because they did something by accident or a poor decision, or just gave in to temptation, and you're like, all right, don't let it happen again. Thing is, I've watched these scamdemics come a few times in my life. The biggest ones were the bird flu, swine flu. The AIDS thing was serious, but we don't hear, that never went away. We don't hear about it anymore. If they're going to make a scare about something, it could be tuberculosis. That kills over 1 million people every year. It'll do it this year, the next year, and everything. Highly contagious and deadly. But to go through all this scamdemic stuff for something you had a 99.9% survival rate. I mean, I have that survival rate at 64 years old, right? And not once did they give any advice on how to be healthier. As a matter of fact, when they found out that the nicotine receptors, were helping to fight the COVID, they said, oh, well, this is a good time to stop smoking. Oh, really? Not that I do or anything, but still, it's just they took advantage of that situation. This whole thing was just malicious. Hospitals were getting paid big time just to say somebody died of COVID. People's insurance were getting a boost if they listed the person died of COVID. This was a whole scam. A lot of people died, but a lot of people also died of the flu every year. When they were, I forgot which vaccine it was, they had 50 people die when it first came out, and they had 50, oh my God, we're gonna go ahead and, pull this vaccine, and in this episode, they had to change the definition of vaccine because it wasn't working. Oh, get the shot, you'll be fine, you won't spread it, and you won't catch it, says the president who's been double vaxxed and double boosted. No, don't forgive these people anything. I mean, imagine this. I mean, what if at the Nuremberg trials, there was all the Nazi officers, all the people of the death camp, hey, you know what? The war is over, okay, we were just following orders, following the science of the Fuhrer, and let's just forget about this shit, rebuild and go back to living life, man. I'm sorry, Yeah, we would just go, yeah, you're right. Hell with it. No. And these people who had pulled this will do it again. Everybody my age has seen this happen a few times. And think about it, I've said many times that everything's some kind of relationship, so think about this. If you got something or somebody constantly abusing you, and every time they just say, I'm sorry, let's just forget about this and move on. Finally, you realize after your friends, your conspiracy theorist friends, that, hey, you're in a really severely abusive relationship. You're just not thinking right. You got to get out of this. You would take that advice, I hope. No, don't forgive these people anything. A lot of people had to die, on their own, with their family not around them, and people would just watch them through the glass, or maybe not even allowed to visit at all. This was just cruel. This was a bad psychological operation on the masses. But we also have to remember, the people that did this for one reason. They knew they could get away with it. They knew the people wouldn't rise up again. Give me that 14 days flatten the curve, 2.5 years later. We have to keep diligent, people. We have to be real diligent to just make sure that, when we see this stuff, we get some complete thought, some critical thinking. We just don't blindly go along with whatever the news said, because they'll do these things just because they think they'll get away with it, and they'll do it because they think there's going to be no consequence. And here's the point. Here's a point in time we have to make an example out of these people, to where if anybody else is thinking about doing this in the future, they're going to go, no, no, no. Remember what happened to those COVID people that tried to pull that on the public? No, I'm not going to be a part of that. Did you guys know that Malaysia recently executed a doctor for giving the jabs? Malaysia's kind of rough on things like that. People are like, well, that's extreme. I'm sorry. I think the whole 2.5 years that we went through this was extreme. And they're still pushing the boosters. They're still pushing, oh yeah, you got to wear that mask. No one gives thought to anything anymore. And this is a mess to you young people. You know, you all talk about capitalism and our democracy or democratic republic is bad. If you lived in China, no one would have any different opinion other than the state. And if you did express even just a suspicion, if you didn't trust anything the state was saying, you'd disappear. Now, I know you all think that's wonderful, you get your free shit and all that, but a lot of those Chinese people, they lost everything. And the Communist Party is just like, well, you don't exist, fuck off. If that's what you want. You know, we got this democratic republic, and when the people that founded this country, and even the natives before them, everybody was on their own. You're responsible for what happens in your life. Yeah, there was things inflicted on them from other tribes, other people, white colonists, whatever you want to call it, but the bottom line is, in my mind, you're always on your own. And you just got to treat life like that. This whole COVID thing was a good example of what happens when you just kind of blindly go along with the narrative. Just follow the rest of the sheeple, and this is what you'll get. A lot of people lost everything, you know, and then we're looking at this crypto scam. A lot of people lost a lot from that, you know, believed all the movie stars, believed all the media. You know, the whole COVID amnesty, if you forgive that, they know that you'll forgive all the other stuff that they're going to plan on doing to you right after this. And they've got their plans. That whole Klaus Schwab and the Economic Forum and you'll own nothing and be happy. You know, I don't own much, but I'm happy with what I have. You know, if I was in their world, I wouldn't have this campfire here. I wouldn't be able to have my tea and just sit here under the treetops, because my carbon footprint was too high that day, you know. They spying on me through this camera, look at Hawk, he's just putting that carbon up in the air, bastard, you know. Yeah, that's me. Oh, come on, people, let's get back to a simpler life, an honest life, you know, and just forget all this. Forget all this following the sheeple thing, and let's remember, you know, that we used to be a strong people, you know, proud people of our accomplishments. Now people don't even know what they want to do. Let's give them guidance. Let's help them explore that. I mean, that's what my generation should be doing. I do it. I help people figure out what would make them happy. A lot of them are so suppressed, you know, they don't know. But don't forgive this COVID thing. Make them be just about it, be fair in the punishment, but somebody needs to pay for all this. All those responsible need to face the music and take their punishment. Just my thoughts.